Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. If you guys are looking for undervalued investment opportunities, click subscribe. Give me the thumbs up if you guys can do that and help the algorithms. I'm going to go over gold and silver, do some technical analysis. I'm trying to go over it kind of a daily routine so you guys can see what I think, what I'm seeing. Maybe it's a little bit easier to learn looking at technical analysis and learning it day by day and what I see. If you guys have any questions, put it in the comment section. If you guys want to learn something else, just put it in the comment section and I'll take it into consideration. So let's jump in. I'm going to go straight into technical analysis here. And just a disclaimer, you guys are still responsible for your investments. You got to do your own due diligence. This is just financial education. So let's jump in. Gold and silver. I do like silver immensely, and platinum. So I'm going to start with gold, the continuous contract itself, the paper markets. You can see we've got two trend lines here. We've got a weaker trend line that's at the top here. And what makes it weaker is that we've only had two spots where it kind of turned. So turn one, turn two, where the price went from an upward move to a downward move. This trend line below it is a lot stronger trend line. We hit it multiple times throughout it more so than before. So we have one, kind of a 2, 3, 4, 5. There's more on this line here. And we're resting on that support line. And that's where we're currently at. The only thing that gets me a little bit worried is there is a lot of momentum behind this move. It moved very quickly to the downside. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time to work that momentum off. It is consolidating. It is holding on this trend line here. So that is a good thing. If we see it break to the downside of this guy, we could be going down for a little bit. But I want to see this remain stuck here or move sideways or kind of come back up and bounce around a little bit. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm not ready to jump in yet. I'm a little bit conservative here. I've already established big positions and I'm just waiting to see what gold is going to do, and silver. And we've got silver in this pattern here going sideways. Everything looks okay. It's still in the pattern. It did not break outside of it, so it's still in it. In platinum, I've got a long-term downtrend line here. More than likely, it's going to bounce off this. I think it was up quite a bit today. But it's looking pretty. I'm going to say this one looks the best of the group because you've got this kind of shoulder that played out. I think it's probably done playing out. And I bet you we're going to see this kind of bop sideways a little bit before moving higher. And this is the cheapest of the three metals on a ratio basis. That's what I follow in terms of value. So platinum's the most undervalued physical precious metal that you can purchase that I know of. Now here's GDX. We're going to the mining companies. This is an ETF of the larger miners. This looks great. We've got the downtrend break. We broke it, back tested, and broke this guy here, which is we're in a new high and we're still in that kind of that trend where we're going to come up. But you could also say that this is step one, step two is a higher low, and then we break this. This is a big, kind of a bigger picture move. So I think it looks good. And right here, we're contracting up. The opening and closing prices are starting to contract and meet each other, which means that the buyers are equaling the sellers. So again, this can bounce around a little bit. There is a lot of momentum in this move to the downside because it happens so quickly. So I kind of drag my feet and we could see maybe like a move up and back. Who knows? I don't know. I don't want to start trying to project this stuff on the short term. But the buyers are starting to equal the sellers. We've contracted down and it's moving sideways right here, which is a good thing. The momentum is slowing off. Same thing with GDXJ. I kind of drew two lines here, a weaker trend line up top and then a really strong trend line. And you can kind of see once it broke this top trend line, it really accelerated down to almost the top of this other trend line. And it's consolidating right here. It's looking like it's going to try to turn and move up. SILJ, same thing. We're kind of getting close to its trend line on the bottom channel. We went up to the top channel, it got smacked back down, and we are surfing between the two channels. Endeavor Silver, we're back kind of towards the lower portion of the chart pattern here. We'll see what happens. I wouldn't really do anything right here. I'd just sit and wait and see if the trend line holds. Mag Silver, it bumped its head off this trend line or upper pattern, chart pattern, and we're just moving back and forth inside of it. First Majestic, again, I stepped back out, drew the trend lines in, and we're struggling to break this I'll call it channel land in here, and we're back inside the channel, chilling out. Wheaton Precious Metals, a royalty company. This it's in a pretty strong uptrend. If you look, we had this kind of pullback, and then we're moving on up. I think this is just going to be a small little pullback, and we're going to continue higher over time. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Sandstorm Gold, another royalty. We're still in an uptrend. It's looking good. Nothing too much to say here. You can probably draw another trend line through here that we're going to have to break. Osisko Gold broke its big trend line, long-term trend line pattern to the upside. It pulls back. I bet you we see this move quite a bit higher. I bet you we'll see a big uptrend move coming over the next couple of years after this chart pattern break. I like it a lot right here. Discovery Silver, this is a small silver company. You can kind of see what we broke the lower trend line. It is consolidating. The momentum's slowing, and we're maybe going to try to attempt a turn here. Let's watch it. This is a small silver, we'll call it a development company, developing a mine. Metallic Minerals is more of a small silver exploration company. This thing's just been kind of pulling on back. We do have a big wick on the bottom, a big hammer pattern. We'll see if this thing pops back higher, but over the past year, this thing's been moving sideways, creating a massive launching base pattern or channel pattern to launch from eventually. So that's gold and silver. We're seeing it pull back. We're seeing things contract. We're seeing it start to equal out the buyers and the sellers, and that's what you want to look for a turn. That's the precursor of an upward move. Is the buyers start to equal the sellers, and then eventually the buyers overwhelm the sellers. All the conditions are right for gold and silver to go higher. I can't think of a single reason why gold and silver is not going higher. We have larger real negative rates. We have large inflation. We have low interest rates. The conditions are there. So now we just have to be patient and wait for the buyers to come. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Leave any comments if you have any comments below. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.